Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll be talking about whaling, which is the hunting of whales. Please remember to like and subscribe. Now let's get right into it. Fact 1. Norway and Japan. At the time of this video, currently there's only 2 countries in the world that continuously hunt whales. Now, when they hunt whales, there are specific definitions. For example, the type of whales and where they do it. Japan and Norway are the only 2 countries that will continue to hunt whales without any end in sight. There used to be a 3rd country, Iceland, that also hunted whales, but they have since given it up because they said that since Japan has resumed commercial whaling, they're unable to compete with the amount of catches that the Japanese whaling ships obtain. Also, there are other countries such as Denmark with Faroe Islands and Greenland that are hunting small kind of whales that are not under the jurisdiction of the International Whaling Association. And so Japan and Norway are really the only 2 major countries with major whaling. Fact 2. Scientific exception. The International Whaling Commission does allow whaling for scientific research. Research such as how much of a particular whale species is out there, or how does a particular species of whales reproduce, or how they behave, or how they migrate. All these factors allow the scientists to study whales. Unfortunately, in the past, certain countries, such as Japan and Norway, used this opportunity to say that they needed to do research and capture and kill whales, especially with the research they claim of needing to kill whales. For example, they don't want to study their migration patterns, they want to study what's the contents of their stomach, which means the whale must be killed for them to investigate. And so there is a bit of controversy on what constitutes scientific research and actual commercial whaling. It is a great source of debate and controversy. Now let's get into the next fact. Fact 3. Not just adult whales. Now you may imagine that when people are hunting whales, they try to hunt the largest whale possible. And in the natural growth of whales, small whales are typically the juveniles, or not yet matured whales. But did you know that whaling really also includes pregnant females in the calves that they have? The calves meaning the juvenile whales. That's right. In the course of whaling, these types of whales are also killed, not just for scientific research, but also for their meat as well. It's probably sad for you to see both a mother whale and the child whale getting dragged up by a harpoon, but in reality, these whales are not spared when the ships are hunting for whales. They don't always just capture the adults. Sometimes the juvenile calves and pregnant females are both captured and killed during the whaling process. Now let's get into the next fact. Fact 4. Mostly minke whales. As I mentioned in the previous section, the International Whaling Commission really only regulates a certain number of whales, or a certain number of species of whales. It actually doesn't regulate, for example, pilot whales, or belugas, or smaller whales. And they really wanted to limit the hunting of the minke whales. Why? Because minke is really the 2nd largest baleen whales. Baleen meaning that their mouth have these brush looking kind of pattern to allow them to filter through water and only eat the krill that they like. Baleen whales are much larger than all other species of whales, and the minke whale is only 2nd largest to the blue whale. The blue whale is probably very difficult to catch, and because they're endangered, the people who hunt whales don't really go after blue whales. Most of them go after minke whales, which are very similar to blue whales in terms of their structure and their mouth, but it's just a bit smaller. And so minke whales are the main species that are being hunted as well as being regulated by the International Whaling Commission. It is interesting to note that the minke whale is not listed as endangered. In fact, if you check out Wikipedia, a minke whale is actually of least concern, meaning that their population is thriving in the wild. But unfortunately, people don't like to see whales being killed because they're such gentle creatures. The International Whaling Commission does have a ban on hunting these type of whales. Of course, recently, with Japan exiting out of the International Whaling Commission, they have resumed full commercial whaling of minke whales in their own territorial waters. Is it their right to do so as this is part of their country? Now let's get into the next and final fact, the beluga whales. As I mentioned in the previous sections, the International Whaling Commission really only regulates a certain number of species. The beluga whale is not regulated. So this means that technically, people could kill beluga whales anytime they want. They can hunt beluga whales in international Antarctic or Arctic waters with no consequences. And that's exactly what the United States does. The beluga whales are hunted by the United States on a regular basis, and because it is not subject to any sort of regulation or restriction by the International Whaling Commission, it's all fully legit. So you can imagine the differences between a minke whale and a beluga whale. A beluga whale is much smaller, it is also not the baleen type, and so they're not really regulated. The beluga whale is also of least concern in the Wikipedia section, showing that their species are not endangered at all. And perhaps this is why the United States still continues to hunt them even today. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please remember to like and subscribe. See you next time.